If you follow me on TikTok and or on Instagram, you know very well that I just returned back from a fantastic trip at Disneyland. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Dapper Danielle, where I talk about random Disney things in the middle of the night that you probably don't care about, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. As most of you know, I'm a Walt Disney World girl. I do live here locally in the Orlando area, so I do visit Walt Disney World quite frequently. And even when I was younger, I visited Disney World more so than I did Disneyland. I have been to Disneyland before, however, once when I was younger, and then more recently in 2019, before this trip, I was there for the D23 event in 2019, which was fantastic. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And before you ask, no, I will not be attending this year's D23. Well, at least not right now. You never know. Things could change. I could get invited. Who knows? While I was out there, as soon as people found out that I was from Orlando, Florida, the first question on everybody's mind was, which one is better? Which one do you like more? Do you like Disney World more? Do you like Disneyland more? What's your experience? What are your takes? Hold on. Let's go ahead and break down a couple things before I give you my personal opinions on some things. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Originally, this was going to be a recap vlog video. However, during my time in Disneyland, well, I forgot to film. So I got some filming done like on the first day, a wee bit on the second day, and after that, yeah, no, totally forgot. So here's the original content I started filming after we first landed in California. Hi everyone, it's the Dapper Danielle and welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be a little different. This is going to be a recap vlog video.
Danielle with very grandiose plans that just didn't happen. So just bear with this intro just for a little bit and continue.
So I am making a trip out here to California and I'm hanging out in Disneyland with my friend Jill. We just checked in. We just got into a very early morning flight. We arrived at, what time did we arrive, Jill?
9 a.m.
We arrived at 9 a.m. California time, and we were able to get a room right away here at the Disneyland Hotel, and I'll be taking you around some little clips of that as well, and let's get into it. Here at the Disneyland Hotel, this is definitely more of a subtle Disney history and magic hotel, which is right up my alley, and there's a lot of hidden details here inside the room that just bring the whole experience together. Like fireworks, pixie dust, and Mickey on the floor. Everything, the little hidden Mickey details to some, well, not so hidden Mickey details. The hotel room also has the Disney Smart TVs, so all your information's up here, like Hubbard and Kelly Party, there's us, tells you the weather, and there's also some hotel information that you can access down here at the bottom as well. Iconic. Our view is of the hotel pool, and we just like seeing the Disneyland sign over there on the slide. We have already jumped on the beds. They are very comfortable, but this detail up here with the Sleeping Beauty's castle, well, at daytime it looks like this. And bippity boppity, boo! Fireworks for you. We loved our experience at the Disneyland Hotel. It was great location, great theming. If you're looking for a hotel that truly has that like Disney essence around it, but it's not like over the top and specific Disney movies, but is more geared towards like the actual park atmosphere itself, Disneyland Hotel is gonna be the hotel you're looking for. And surprisingly enough, we don't really have a comparison to that hotel here at Walt Disney World. Not with that same storytelling and the history from like the concept art from Wet Enterprises.
One thing that I found very amusing during my time here at the Disneyland Hotel was that I overheard other guests complaining that the walk between the hotel lobby and the front of the parks was too long. Honey, it's only 0.6 miles. For my Walt Disney World people, if you need an example of distance between those two spots, it's the same distance between the back of the Epcot parking lot to Spaceship Earth. However, this walk is much more entertaining because you cut right through the middle of downtown Disney to be able to get to the parks. So what I'm saying is don't let the walk scare you. Just make sure you have on some good walking shoes and you'll do just fine. Okay, so what about the park itself? Well, to start off, let me give you the same answer I gave everybody else that asked that question. As someone that grew up in Disney culture and Disney parks community, it just felt different, yet very oddly familiar. It's different in the sense that Disneyland has a lot of attractions that are no longer or were never available in Disney World. However, so very familiar because these are all the stories that I grew up with, by watching classic Disney movies and reading little Disney golden books. Disneyland features many attractions that Walt Disney and his Imagineers originally worked on. However, most of them have received some form of an update. This is just to keep the technology relevant to the times. And I feel that the Imagineers have done a fantastic job of maintaining the storyline while still adding a little something. Or maybe, as Alice would say, muchness. And that muchness can be seen throughout the entire park. Little details and storytelling bits. I was in the park for, 4 full days. And I still feel like there was details that I missed or overlooked, and it just makes me want to go back sooner and check them all out. Also, side note, I really love the Indiana Jones ride. Now, at the time we went, it was January of 2022. And one of the big items on our list was to go and visit Toontown before it shut down in March. And yes, Toontown will be closing for a year. Possibly won't reopen until the end of 2023. I know some Disneyland locals are upset about this. However, after going and visiting Toontown, it really needs the overhaul. There are so many empty dead spaces that can't be utilized due to safety issues. It's just really time. But at the end of the day, I'm really excited to see what they'll do next. We also got to experience the tail end of the Small World holiday overlay. This was my very first time seeing this overlay, and oh my goodness, I get the hype, y'all. I always heard that this attraction was really cool during the holiday overlay, but I just didn't believe it until I saw it, and wow. Did I film the entire attraction? I'm already taking notes on what I want to decorate my own home with for Christmas next year? Maybe. It was almost February by the time we went and enjoyed this ride, and, well, it still put me in the holiday spirit even in February. Feliz Valentine'smas, we'll call it. It's a Small World did shut down at the end of our stay, so we didn't get a chance to ride this a second time, though I very much would have loved to. I might already be trying to plan a trip to be able to come back at the very beginning of the holiday season. And again, I do have a full video of this entire ride through, so if you would like me to post it, just let me know in the comments. Then you can hear my commentaries and oohs and ahs over every single room that we went into. Now, one thing I realized while we were out in Disneyland is that I feel like a lot of the attractions break down quite regularly due to either age or just how it operates. However, whenever it did happen, well, people weren't worried about it because it was normal.
Hey, update into the adventures of day 1 of Disneyland.
Yeah.
We were very successful today. We got on a lot of things.
Yeah.
We did mostly all Fantasyland, focused on some of the OG rides. What time is it right now, Jill?
It's 10:15.
10:15 California time, which means it's
1:15 for us.
no wonder we're exhausted.
Hey, I had some Starbucks.
We did have some Starbucks, but now one of our last rides of the evening, we run into some fantastic cast members that recognize me from TikTok, but
Love that.
we jumped onto the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Love this ride. However, we are now in a sticky situation
Yeah.
and are about to get evac'd off the
Yeah.
ride, our first evac in Disneyland.
And of all rides, though, it's like we get on and tell them the random Disney thing in the middle of the night.
The one random thing we came in here to see is the old remnants of the Country Bear Jamboree. And we are so close. We are
Literally in
literally
the same
so
room.
close. We are,
It's right over there on the other side of that.
and we probably won't get to it.
We will not see it.
It's fine.
I'm sad.
The cast members evacing us were delightful and ended up letting us walk in the opposite direction with the other group so we could see Max, Buff, and Melvin hanging out above the ride. R.I.P. Disneyland's Country Bears. Again, y'all know how much I love my bears, so I was delighted to find even more little details like Trixie's Powder Room and Gomer's Gentleman Lounge, the name of the men's and women's bathrooms underneath the Hungry Bear restaurant. Now, I mentioned a little bit earlier that the Indiana Jones ride was one of my favorite attractions. I would say it was one of my favorite thrill attractions. However, my 3 favorite rides were probably the most childish ones, like the Silly Symphony Swings, Emotional Whirlwind, as well as Jessie's Critter Carousel. I really don't know why these were my favorite. Maybe it was just the spinning rotation, or maybe the colorful design aesthetic. Or maybe I'm just a very simple girl that enjoys the very simple pleasures like going on a swing. Something that also really needs to be applauded to Disneyland is their character interactions as they are still socially distanced. Do I miss hugging Eeyore and friends? Well, yes, of course. But these distanced interactions have actually let me see more characters. And boy, did we run into a lot of friends on this trip. Even some that I usually can't get up close and personal with back in Walt Disney World, like Oswald. Oh my goodness. Disneyland also had some great uses of their cavalcades. Some characters like Anna and Elsa you saw earlier were just by themselves on a float. However, some cavalcades felt like a miniature parade. Moving forward, I really hope that the Disney parks continue using these cavalcades, even with the addition of their parades returning. I really appreciate being able to see characters without having to wait in line just to have them sign an autograph or just take a picture with me. Which for some people is good, but I don't need that every single time I go to the park. The cavalcades give me just enough character interaction to be able to really enjoy my time. Jill and I really enjoyed this cavalcade. It had the Fab Five, it had princesses, it had some obscure characters that we really haven't seen in a while. Or at least, maybe some characters I haven't seen in a while here at Walt Disney World. Another random item I was really excited to see during my trip was this Mickey float. This float first made an appearance in 2013 over at Tokyo Disney for the Happiness is Here parade, and then made its way in 2019 for the Soundsational parade here at Disneyland. Though I never got to see those parades, I was excited to see the float. While I do appreciate some older references to the park, I also really appreciate the new additions that have come to the park. Like certain character meet and greet options, and Avengers Campus, which I saw for the very first time. Though for some reason I thought it was a little bit bigger, it still is very impressive. And as of right now, was definitely the busiest part of the park at California Adventure. Character interactions alone in this part of the park are amazing. From meeting Tony Stark to seeing Spider-Man sling across the sky, and also that web slingers ride, make sure you stretch before you go on this ride. This was seriously an arm workout. I was not prepared. I did not do my research. Kind of like Peter. The attention to detail in this land is truly quite impressive, all the way down to the interactions that the characters have between themselves, like the fight scenes. The PhotoPass photos were also impressive. Don't forget, while you're in Disneyland, make sure to ask for those magic shots because they are quite impressive. Now, what about the important stuff? The food! During my time at Disneyland, I still feel like I didn't have enough time to try all the snacks that I really wanted to. But I got a lot of the main ones. And yes, before you ask, I had plenty of churros. To answer everyone's question on TikTok, yes, the Disneyland churros are much better. However, that's not going to stop me from having a churro over in Disney World. I gotta work with what I got. Now, besides the churros, I think what also helped make the food taste even better was the ambiance and the environment I was eating each of the meals in. Was the macaroni and cheese bacon cone really that good, or was it the environment? Well, I would say both. Now you might be wondering, Danielle, you never answered the question on which park was better, the Disney World or Disneyland. Well, my answer for you is simple. You can't choose between the two. They are two totally different monsters. One park caters towards international guests and once-in-a-lifetime guests, while the other caters towards the local, as well as the Disney history fan. Hence why some attractions are still in Disneyland, however they might not be in Disney World anymore, or why they existed at one park and never the other. Each guest goes to these parks to get something different out of their experiences and have different expectations when they go to each park. So though you may have a preference on which park is better, again, that's your preference. It doesn't mean it'll be the same for the next person. For me personally, I love the rides and the attractions over at Walt Disney World. However, I do love the quiet spots and little nooks and crannies are hidden throughout Disneyland Resort. But again, that's my preference. That's what I value. So next time I go to Disneyland, I'm not going for the rides or the attractions, I'm going there just to experience the ambiance. To go into California Adventure late at night and just watch the Pixar Pier light up. So before you're planning your trip to whether it be Disney World or Disneyland, you just need to decide, what are you going to do? What are your goals of what you want to accomplish in your story? Because that's the only way you can find your own happily ever after. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Make sure you like and subscribe, and all my links are down below. I'll see y'all next time. Night night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight.